Hello, I'm Greg Solomon. Well, folks, I deemed it necessary to make a part 3 of what has seemed to become a series of videos entitled God, Atheism, and Religion. Now, I've received a few personal messages to my YouTube account, and they will usually start off like this, and they're obviously from fundamentalist Christians. They will start off like this, and I'll paraphrase. Well, Greg, seeing as how you are an atheist, what do you think about, or they'll go, Greg, seeing as how you're an agnostic, what do you think about, now hold on folks, let's rewind here a little bit. Where in my last 2 videos did I ever use either the term atheist or agnostic to describe myself? Never did anywhere in either one of those videos. But see, that is very telling about the mentality of Orthodox and fundamentalist Christians. Because they believe, they are of the mindset that if you don't believe in this book exactly the way they believe in this book, then ipso deducto, you must be an atheist. See, they have heard me probably say a few things in this book, such as I believe that the story of Noah and his ark is a myth. That's because flood geology is looked upon as pseudoscience by the entire scientific community. It's ridiculous. There was never a worldwide flood. And if you Orthodox fundamentalist Christians will stop getting your science from creationists and actually get it from scientists, you would know that too. But when they hear me say things like that, they think, well, ipso deducto, he must be an atheist. He's not in our clique. He doesn't believe in this book the exact way we believe in this book. And that is their mindset. Now, I'm going to ask a question as soon as I take a sip of my coffee here. Excuse me. Now I'm going to pose a question to everyone out here. And as I'm posing this question, I'm also going to be asking myself the same question. Was there or is there a God who initiated the Big Bang? Or however you want to word it. Was there or is there a God who got things going, got things started to get us to the point where we are today? My answer is, I don't know. Even Richard Dawkins, who wrote The God Delusion, answers that question by saying he doesn't know. And you know what? Neither do you. None of you. Nobody does. And if anyone out here says that they know for a fact that there was a God who started the universe, then that person is either being dishonest or is delusional. And especially if they tell you that that God who started the universe, they know for a fact that that God is a God who wrote this book. Nobody knows that for a fact. It's what you believe. It's not what you know. You don't know that for a fact. As I said, Richard Dawkins isn't even that presumptuous to say that no, there wasn't a God who started the universe. He just says he doesn't know, because nobody does. And as I said, if there was even proof, if proof could somehow be found that there was a deistic God who created or got things going, initiated the Big Bang, that is a far, far cry from saying that that God who got things going and initiated the Big Bang is the God who wrote this book by proxy through inspired writers. Now, on the other hand, Christians, Orthodox, fundamentalist type Christians, will tell you that they in fact do know that God created the universe. And in fact, it's the same God who wrote this book. They know that for a fact. They will go on to tell you that they know what happens after you die. Not only do they know how the universe was created, but they'll tell you what exactly is going to happen after you leave this realm of existence. And as if that's not enough, they will tell you that if you don't believe in this book the way that they believe in this book, that you will go to a place called hell, and you will burn forever and ever and ever. They would have you believe that a fellow, let's say a guy who's just an average working guy, leads a moral life to the best of his ability, his entire life, perhaps a husband, a father of children, obeys the laws of the land, but he just doesn't believe in this book the way they believe in this book. They will tell you that that person, when he dies, he or she dies, is going to go to hell and burn forever and ever and ever, right alongside John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy, who, for those of you who don't know, are heinous and evil serial killers. Now, they tell you they know all this for a fact. Okay, now, you say, I know right now that there are some Christians out there watching this video and they're saying, well, there you go. Look, you see what he's doing now? Greg is picking on us Christians. He's picking on us fundamentalist Christians. You don't hear him saying this type of stuff about Hindus or Buddhists or... No, he's picking on Christians. Well, folks, no. I'm not picking on you, but it's just that when you prop yourself up by saying that you know for a fact that the God who wrote this book created the universe, you know for a fact that the God who wrote this book created a place called hell, and that if you don't believe in this book, you're going to go to that place and burn. When you use terms such as lost to describe people who don't believe exactly the way you believe, when you prop yourself up as such authorities, then you open yourself up to my scrutiny. See, so don't whine and complain and say, oh, Greg is picking on us. No, Greg is analyzing your beliefs, and then I'm giving my opinion. Isn't that okay if I do that? I mean, how smug and pretentious and presumptuous is that? To describe people who don't believe exactly the way you believe as lost. You're either found believing the way they believe, you're found, or you're lost if you don't believe the way they believe. Imagine how smug and pretentious I would sound if I were to come out here and make a video and outline a few things concerning my worldview, and then in ending the video, if I were to say, if anyone out here does not believe what I just said, then you are lost. You have to believe the way I believe to be found. I mean, that's just a smug, pretentious, and presumptuous attitude. And some of those people I let slide and just essentially give them a pass, so to speak, because I realize that they are very naive in their beliefs. It's something, as I spoke about in my first video of this series, they've had that indoctrinated in them since they were a kid. You know, they were told when they were a kid they have to believe in this book and believe in it in a certain way, or they were going to go to hell and burn in this fire forever and ever, which I think is a horrible thing to teach a child. Now, let's talk about hell for just a minute, shall we? I don't know how aware many of you Christians are about what I'm going to tell you, But you can ask an Orthodox Jew, and they will verify what I'm about to tell you. Jewish people do not believe in the concept of hell. And there's nothing in the Old Testament that denotes a hell, nor do Jewish people believe in the devil. Anytime you might see the English word hell in the dictionary or in the Old Testament, that English word was simply put in there by the translators of whatever particular version of the Bible you're reading. The word Sheol in the Old Testament, which is essentially just the grave, is translated as hell by the English translators. But there is no concept. And so when you hear that word, hell, you're thinking of this burning, fiery place. But the Jewish people have no concept of that. There's no hell. There's no devil. These concepts, in my opinion, are simply, it's a mythology that has evolved with the Christian religion, along with a lot of other things that have evolved with it. You know, you think about this, Christians, Orthodox fundamentalist Christians, what I just said earlier. Think about, as I said, John Wayne Gacy, very heinous, despicable, evil man who killed a lot of young guys and buried them under his house. Geez, I think it was like 35 guys before he finally got caught. Ted Bundy did unspeakable evil to young women, killed them, tortured them. I could just go on and on naming all these. There's a lot of despicable individuals in the annals of criminal history. You think about all these different people. Think about the guy that killed John Walsh's boy. Some of you people might watch America's Most Wanted. I don't know how many of you know, but the host of that show, John Walsh, the way he got into that, he had an entirely different job when he was a younger guy. But his young boy, who was 6 years old, was kidnapped from a Sears and Roebuck store. He was out with his mother shopping, and they got separated for just a few minutes, and the boy disappeared, was never found again. It took years and years and years to find out what happened. Eventually, the boy's, I believe his head was discovered. I don't think they ever did find his body, or else the body was discovered and they never found his head, one or the other. But a guy kidnapped him, 6-year-old boy, sodomized him, and then severed his head from his body. A 6-year-old boy. Now, you fundamentalist Christians would have people believe that those individuals that I just described are in a place called hell, burning forever and ever, and that a normal working guy who's never committed any such crime would never even think of doing such a thing. Just a normal guy who's lived a relatively decent life, trying to do what he's supposed to do, following the laws of the land and raising a family. You would have people believe that that fellow is going to be in hell, burning forever and ever and ever, right beside those horrible, evil, heinous individuals, simply because that average guy doesn't believe in this book the way that you believe in it. Why, that is just, such a belief system is just treacherous to intellectual integrity. It's ludicrous. And as I said, I actually give quite a few Christians a pass on this stuff because I realize that their belief system is very naive. That smugness that I spoke of, I don't think a lot of them even realize it. The pretentiousness and smugness and indeed self-righteousness of their attitudes. And if you'll watch my earlier video, and supposedly I would think you've watched 1 and 2 before you've gotten to this one, which is 3, you would see in one of those videos that I described that actually those self-righteous fundamentalist Christians aren't even living a Christian lifestyle themselves. I mean, they are falling far short of the mark, and indeed are lukewarm Christians. So, yeah, folks, you fundamentalist Christians, as I said, don't whine and complain if you're going to prop yourselves up as authorities on what happened when the world began and what's going to happen after everyone dies. And don't whine and complain when I scrutinize your beliefs, and indeed scrutinize you. You know, how do you folks don't know that this book is correct? Maybe this is the right book. I don't know if you can see that, the Quran. How do you know this book? How do you know that this book isn't right and this book is wrong? What makes you think that this book is right and this one's wrong? There's millions of people who think this book is right. See? It's all about what you believe. It's just so obvious. I mean, it's all about what you believe. There's no proof either way for any of these books. These are books. Person is born and they're happening whatever region of the world they're living in when they're born. Their region of the world their parents are in when they're born. There happens to be a certain book that is given a lot of credence in that part of the world. Here it's the Bible. Over in the Mideast, it's this, the Quran. So yeah, don't whine, Christians. If you're going to prop yourself up like now, if you want to keep it to yourself, that's fine and dandy. You say, if the Bible or the Quran or whatever book helps you lead a good life, if you feel you need that to lead a good life, to lead a decent life, if it helps you somehow, then that's fine. Not a thing wrong with that. But if you're going to try to proselytize, if you're going to try to tell me or other people that you are lost unless you believe the way you believe, I mean, you're lost if you don't believe the way I believe. If you're going to say that, then I'm going to have to scrutinize you. And I'm going to have to call you out on it. And when I do call you out on it, I don't want you whining and complaining like girly men. And any of you folks out there within range of my hearing who are watching this video, if any of these fundamentalist Orthodox Christians comes to your door or talks to you at your place of work or wherever and tries to offer you the same gift that they believe they have received, a gift that allows them to be found whereas you are lost, and they want you to have that gift also, I would tell you to, as I once heard Christopher Hitchens say, push that gift that they're pushing into your face, push that gift away as if it was a poison chalice. And instead, think for yourselves. Think for yourselves. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come your way as a result. Until next time, this is Greg Solomon saying take care.